Sometimes when you are putting together a histogram or a frequency distribution and you're grouping the data into classes, you end up with classes that don't have any values in them. You end up with missing classes or blank classes. And if you're going to create a histogram and make it properly, then you need to have a histogram that has a gap where those missing classes are. And that can present a little bit of a challenge in Excel, so I wanted to make a quick video showing you how to deal with that issue. So if I wanted to make a frequency distribution or a histogram out of this data, which is supposed to represent lengths of fish, then I would begin by first of all selecting the data. I did that by holding down Control and pressing A. Okay, so that selects the whole column. And then we can go to Insert, Pivot Table. We'll store it in our existing worksheet, and let's put it right there. So I'm going to move length of fish to rows and to values. I don't want it to sum up the length of fish, I just want it to count how many fish are each length. So I'm going to go to Value Field Settings and change Sum to Count. Okay, so now it's counting how many fish are each particular length. But of course, I might want to group this into classes because most of the counts are just one or maybe two. So let's group these into classes. So we'll go to Group. I right-clicked on the row, then I went to Group. We can start at 12, end at 80. Let's group by 8. And that looks much better. That's a nice frequency distribution. However, you'll notice that there is a gap between 67 and 76 because there were no fish between 68 and 75 inches or centimeters long, and so we have a missing class there. So to get Excel to display those missing classes, we'll right-click and we'll go to Field Settings, and then we'll click on the Layout and Print tab, and we'll say Show Items with No Data. Okay, and so then we get that 68 to 75 class that we were missing before. If we also get this less than 12 and greater than 84 class, we can get rid of those. We'll just click on this little arrow and then unselect the less than 12 and greater than 84. Okay, and so now we have a frequency distribution that's displaying all of our classes, even the ones that don't have any data in them. Now to get a 0 to show up here, unfortunately you can't just enter 0, right? You'll get this error. So what we do instead is, again, we'll right-click in the data table and go to Pivot Table Options. And down here under Format, where it says for empty cells show, we want it to show a 0. And then it fills that in with a 0. So that's how you display the empty classes. Of course, at this point, inserting a histogram is no big deal. We can select the pivot table, insert a bar chart, get rid of the total, delete that, and then we can make these bars wider. So we right-click them, Format, make the gap width maybe 5% or something. And there you go. Now you've got a good looking histogram.